Hello, Earthbound Super Series, and welcome in to another matchup in this year's Earthbound Super Series Ancient Cave Tournament. As it's on the left, KelieSemoun, on the right, Oxwis. I am Leslie Pro, and for this seed, you see what we've got on the top left portion of the screen. It is M3, meaning you're also dealing with random enemy appearances on top of the usual randomization. Also, short skips, that means our normal skips are only going to go 2 floors. So starting on floor 1 as we get underway, if you find a skip, you are going to floor 3. And by not normal skips, what I am referencing finding Dungeon Man, as well as defeating Master Belch and spawning a ladder. Because that ladder counts as a skip, and it's not a normal skip. So, yeah. Oh, pizza number. This could come into play. Oh, Kelly mashed. I've done that. But who hasn't? Well, a free King Banana. Oh. Kelly didn't get it. That could come into play later while Oxwis is... Wow. The double Janet right there. For those who've watched PK Scramble, we reference the NPC that blocks this sin as Janet, and that's why we say dang it, Janet. So that evil-looking thing is a crow. And it stole a bottle of water. And I think Oxus just took on a dog. Pretty linear start thus far until the hospital. Oh, we found the floor's full heal. And Magnet Hill does give us an item on top of it, so it's a pretty good location. Now, something to keep in mind is on the later floors, those magic butterflies will also spawn an enemy fight, which for some reason could give you an instant win. And then heal you. I don't get it. Only an M3, as far as I'm aware. And here's our first skip, this being the Four-Side Theater skip. It goes to Threed. Now, the usual rule about the item box in the... Excuse? A Spectrum Beam on floor 3? That's an exceptionally good weapon for that floor. Also, get a prediction going as Kaylee is looking around. Finding... Oh, we're going to be on the same floor here, so let's see which direction Oxus goes with this 3. Mr. Baseball Caps, good equipment for equipping, but it also sells for $199 on the arms dealer. Oh, we got super bombs. It's a bit early, though, but our runners might want to remember that. Just in case it winds up being the only super bomb dealer. Okay, Ox was taking a save here. This makes sense. And those ghosts are actually mushrooms. They're cosplaying. See? Now, this is interesting. Keely's found the end of the floor. We have no idea what boss this is. And boss number 3, that's going to be a random standard enemy. Dressed as a massive sewer rat. That's actually an hieroglyph. And it drops a teddy bear. So that's a second. Ox was doing a deeper dive on this floor 3, and it looks like Kelie's about to be heading to floor 4. Or not. Seeing if there's a nearby skip. Well, now we know Carrot Key's useless. But I see the wisdom there to see if there's a nearby skip that can be taken to go up 2 floors. So instead, on to floor 4. As Oxus has found Magic Ant, this right here counts as a full heal. I mean, skip items are good to grab. I mean, it's not floor 1, but still good to get. Also, Moonside Shop, so yes is no, no is yes. And that's still going to be the same encounter as it is, but it could be a different enemy, and it is an appearance, but it's still the abstract art, just looking even more abstract than usual. Box was finding a crystal charm that's good for speed. Now, I did not see who has prey, spy, etc. But Ox was getting a jank green swirl. We take those. Now it's floor 3, and Oxus is taking a look into the red tunnel. Now, I typically don't see this unless it's a later floor, because the gifts will be much better. Coin of Slumber, not terrible. Unless Oxus is maybe looking for a skip item or a Franklin badge. Oh, we're actually about to see a boss list from one of our runners here. Okay, an IQ capsule is not terrible. Because you have a kid who's got low psychic points. Oh, hold on. Monomole 5, Manny 4. Hey, it's not a doggo seed. Let's go. We've been having an awful lot of those this tournament. In fact, one of our runners played 3 doggo seeds in a row during his run, and what are the chances? I don't know. Also, chat, we have a prediction up, and you've got about 4-ish minutes to put channel points in to see who you think is going to win this race. I think it's going to be a good one, personally. DX Waters are always a good pickup, especially for Pooh, because that's how he recovers psychic points. So Prey wound up on Pooh. That could be interesting for later on in the seed, because Pooh typically doesn't use traditional equipment. However, if he were to come across the combination of an Earth Pendant and Diadem of Kings, that would have the same... the effect would stack, and it would equate to having a Sea Pendant or Star Pendant. And Oxus is getting the free $50. Not a bad thing to pick up, especially early when money's tight. And that would be Peaceful Rest Valley, which is one of 3 pencil eraser skips that are in a seed. Now, the only problem with it is that it is a bit of a longer skip to take, so it might not pan out. Ox was coming up with a Magnum air gun. Unfortunately, Spectrum meme up. Oxus is not checking the meme to see who's running to the bathroom. Which is one of the fun little memes you can have in an ancient KFC to see which randomized sprite is running to the restroom. But let's be honest, we've all been there. Well, Oxus finds another King Banana. Interesting how that winds up twice. Oxus just found his way back to floor 2, so... Unfortunately, that is a thing that can happen, and he knows he's got to turn it around. Now Kelly, getting to the other side of worst room in the game, as some have called that particular room. And that's the end of floor 4, so Kelly about to open up a 2-floor lead here. Just has to get through the boss. Thanks for the good luck, have fun, Temple. Hopefully everything's going well. I believe boss of the floor is Mani Mani, which is, of the 2 statue fights, definitely not the worst one you can run into in an ancient KFC, as Oxus is coming up on the floor 3 boss. And our runners are through both bosses, so we're going to have Kaylee on 5 and Oxus on 4 very shortly. Now, this could be very interesting. This could, because this is the Dungeon Man skip, this could quite literally go to anywhere in the cave. Like, Kelly could wind up on floor 9 for all we know. Or could wind up on floor 2, which we've already seen. Now, that's a bit that's a bit of a swerve. Talking to a plant who's an arms dealer. At least I find some humor in that. And the question is, where are we dropping? Kelly got caught by an enemy that deployed a psychic shield. That partier hit hard, that's for certain. Oh, that hasty bomb's something that casts freeze, probably a mook. Yeah, this is a winner's encounter, so Kaylee might have skipped up to 7 or 8, maybe? Yeah, that's a good spot to take a good night bench, because that's definitely a forward skip. Is Actually, a pretty good weapon. One up from Spectrum Beam. Meanwhile, Oxus has found a skip. Could be forward, could be backward. And that goes backward. So that's unfortunate. Let's see. Night Pendant, Ultimate Bat, and Gold Bracelet. This is probably 7, maybe? Just guessing. Okay, I see the genius here. Take the scripted fight versus having 3 dogs run at you. Okay, that makes sense. And that's another skip right there, but that one requires the signed banana. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen a dig of floor 1 Dungeon Man, because when you're on a deeper floor, that tends to have some very good items. Okay, stocking up on secret herbs. I respect the play here. Right now, Oxus is crossing worst room in the game. And that's a zombie on Oxus's end, while whatever that is, Kelie's running. Oxus is at the end of floor 4, as now we have a scripted fight against a low-level enemy, but that low-level enemy dropped a peanut cheese bar, which is a pretty effective food item to use. And now here's Oxus for his Mani fight. Oh, wait a minute. We got ourselves double burger. And I'm guessing that was maybe backwards. No. Bit of indecision here. Unfortunately, that's the far west end of Summers, so everything else is to the east. Okay, that's convenient to just find a door that goes forward. Oh, we got a meme. And unfortunately, Oxus has lost Paula, but that's not the prey character. And, what's the meme today? $18-minute floor 9. Let's see if that's the case. Now, Oxus has the same choice to make. Oh, these doors are just tying together. That's just hilarious to me. Well, that's not a room we see a lot of, is the Buff Burb room. The Flying Man room from Magicant. We are checking out the path here. Talking Rock. Oh, legendary map. That is incredible. And Gaia Beam. Those are two top tier weapons for Ness and Jeff, respectively. Love to see it. The only thing that would arguably be better than the legendary bat would be the Gutsy bat. That's a Starman. A very dodgy Starman to dodge both attacks from both Ness and Jeff. That wound up being a good amount of levels, so potentially something to grind against as we are crossing a bridge. Bit of a long room here, but this could be worth it. And not committing to it yet. Oh, trying to despawn. Sometimes the only way to despawn enemies is to just go back into the doorway you came through from. And Oxus comes up with a pizza, so that'll help for the pizza skips. Okay, that's definitely a Starman, and I'm guessing a robot. Oh, ultimate bat for sale here. Yep, that's a robot cosplaying as a robot, and it explodes. Boom goes the dynamite. Ooh, Ox was getting back attacked. As that's a talisman ribbon, another good item to come across. Hollow goes down again on Oxus's side. Oh, that dinosaur was a dinosaur zombie. Now that is that's a scary thought, or a scary combination to think about. And Oxus has found showtime! So the route I took last night in the practice seed that I posted in the Earthbound Discord had a showtime on my route, which was actually pretty glorious to just listen in, jam to the music, and then just crush the rest of the seed. Admittedly, when you get a hold of a seed and crush it, it feels so good and so satisfying. Oh yeah, fun part about M3, sometimes you get NPCs that aren't normally enemies that charge at you. this could be a good room to just go through and see what items are here. It is Brick Road. 5 gifts. Starting with a chef's special. Magic fry pan, that's good equipment for Paula. Her guts goes up. Although somebody in chat can answer this for me. Which one is better? Magic fry pan or the holy fry pan? Okay, Brain Food Lunch is phenomenal here in this particular seed because Pooh is our prey character. And because of that, oh, we got a save pendant. I see that Keely might be on 9, possibly 8. It's one of those two. Well, wow, that's a choice that Keely would have to face, because for gifts in Moonside, a holy fry pan. So I see one of those, I'm like, ugh, yeesh. And Keely found a previous floor, so could this be 8? Could this be 9? I'm not 100% certain here. Because I don't think we typically see rain pendants on floor 9. Typically. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. And Oxus has found Tucson. Of all the places to find an ancient cave, this is probably one that you don't want to find, because that's 19 exits. So what grand total of 18 doors to sift through. And if it's not required, it really feels like a waste of time. Meanwhile, we have got Fobbies on Kaylee's side. Crystal Charm strats for Oxus. I like this play because that's paralysis protection plus an increase of speed by 15 points, which can make a difference in a number of different ways. And not just the bottle rocket damage that Jeff does, because PSI Wave, which is referenced as Rockin', amongst your favorite thing, basically, is speed-based damage. Well, you can give yourself a better chance of rockin' working, and Keely taking a wipe, that appears to have been a tactical wipe. Yep, saving at the throne room. Yeah, if you're going to take a death, that's not a bad place to respawn at all. If anything, I'd call that one of the better places to respawn. Possibly looking for a clean break through this cave, and I don't think it's happening. Oh, whatever this enemy is, it is hitting like a ton of bricks as Ness got smashed for something in the 550s. Gross. Ooh, this could be good for Oxus, a vendor that's selling big bottle rockets and super bombs. Yeah, I know that's the vanilla setup for that particular shot, basically. But you know what? That can be pretty darn good, especially with a crystal charm to increase big bottle rocket damage. And Oxus has been given an egg. Oh, it's 9. Kelie's found Gygus. I think that's the first time I've honestly seen rain pendants and such on floor 9, so you'll have to excuse me for being surprised at that. Meanwhile, Kelie does not have PSI Shield Sigma, gonna have to do a little bit of grinding to get up to that point, but right now the clock is ticking. Oh, thanks for catching that, chat. There was a star pendant right at Gygus' front door. Oh, a hype room! Diadem Kings, Cloak of Kings, a Goddess Ribbon, Meteorium, multi-bottle rocket Bracer of Kings. That is the Pooh setup, and one-time big blast that Jeff can fire at any enemy that Kelie desires. Not necessarily Gygus. I mean, you could fire it at like a Cave of the Past enemy if you're just wanting to get out of that fight quickly. Deluxe Fry Pan find for Oxus. Defense Coin, Defense Shower, and Mummy Wrap. Now, the Mummy Wrap is used to damage a foe, and if it damages said foe, they're immobilized for a turn. And Kelie is fighting a Squatter Demon, I believe. Because that bite committed some poison. Now, typically against a Squatter Demon, Freeze isn't going to do a whole lot of damage. So there's the Diamond Eyes bite right there. Oh, and Paula got Diamond Eyes. Not good. Oh, mercy. Squatter Demon did some serious damage there. An enemy right in front of Kelie's face here. I don't know if I trust this at this point, but that's just me. And that sphere is an evil eye. We got friendly fire. Meanwhile, Ox was at the end of floor 5. And this is Mondo Mole. I don't think Oxus has seen the boss list, so this would have been a good thing to see because Mondo Mole is literally cheesable if you paralyze. Kelie out of that fight, but damage done. 3 kids taken out. And a Gutsy Bat. Now, here's a setup you can go for. Gutsy Bat. Boost your guts by 127 when equipped. Toss in a single Sudden Guts pill, and suddenly Ness has a max crit rate for that fight. I think at this point we're looking for a heal. And there's our first butterfly that was actually an enemy. And we got a full heal, so this is a good place to settle in and start fighting, in my opinion. Oh, that's disgusting timing on that psychic power shield, as now the party just took a big hit. And Oxwis, now I don't understand why, but sometimes teleport will work in this rando, and it just worked there for Oxwis to evade enemies in the overworld. That's typically tech you would see in a PK scramble setting, as well as the vanilla game. Ancient Cave, not so much. You're typically underground. And we've got items raining off of Pink Cloud. Look out below, everybody. Ox was taking a reset versus that fight because she was risking a wipe. The grind continues. Well, I think there's only one option on Oxwas's teleport list. Was it Happy? Because it was the only thing I saw. Yep, Ox was calling for a pizza. Now, if you save and reset, it shows up right away. And that's a pretty large room. And there is PSI Shield Sigma. I would assume that this is a heal up, save, exit mouse, go situation. Oxus gets a back attack on... Looks like a coffee cup, but it might not be a coffee cup. A desert enemy. Or are we just grinding beyond? Nope, pushing through. Oxus picking up a charm coin to improve the defense. And here we go. Keelie's sending at 4156. At this point, even though Gygas can be the source of all RNG, this really is Keelie's race to lose at this point in time. But a lot can happen between now and then, so don't go anywhere, folks, as it is now an equipment setup. Yep, that looks right, and here we go. Gygas time. And in a weird twist, well, we have a multi-bottle rocket. And it's an alpha to start. That's the better, kinder start to a Gygas fight. As Gygas can start with an alpha or a beta. And that's paralysis. And the multi-bottle rocket does not hit, so speed might have rolled way up. Okay, I see the meta here. Do an offense up. There's just one problem. Gonna need some psychic points for that psychic shield. Ox was at the end of, I believe... Can't say I've exactly been able to keep up with what floor he's on. I believe it's wherever the Dungeon Man skip went to. I want to say 7. Oh, he gets a Franklin badge. That could be huge. But time is definitely of the essence here, as it is getting late early. Phase 1 is done. It seems like Pokey was very freeze weak. That is a big-time smash from Ness. Gutsy Bat, raising your guts as high as it does really gives you a good chance to get smash hits frequently. And Oxus was at the end of 7. And that looks like Master Barf, but it's definitely not. It's Shroom, which is one of the worst bosses to face in pretty much any format. That's phase 2. And there was a solidify on the phase transition, so that's a free turn into the second part of part 3. Trying to prayer strats for both runners, but for different reasons. Ox was trying to get something to help get through this Shroom fight. Well, it's Gygus prayers for Keely. And Shroom is down for Oxwis. Nicely done. Well, this is good for Oxwis finding a full heals. That'll get rid of the maximization. And then stay at the hotel nearby to get everything restored. Unfortunately for Oxwis, like I said, got late early. Keely found the path to 9 quickly and was able to get settled in to grind for PSI Shield Sigma and get the critical pendants needed to win, and that's a Sword of Kings for Oxwis, so another great find. But today was just Keely's day, so with this last prayer, as it goes through, and Oxwis is pulling out a large amount of money that would alert any financial institution. Get your GGs in chat for Keely, who gets the win and is moving on with an official time of 49 minutes, 41 seconds. Gonna pull up the bracket here, and what I can tell you is that as I am pulling this up, is that this win, Keely's gonna be moving on to face the winner of Lantro and Andy Perfect. For Oxus, it's the end of the road. But definitely a valiant effort for sure, no doubt about it. And Oxus is going to continue onward. And those land cows are casting thunder. And flash, that's kind of scary. Oh, you absolutely were locked in. Everything clicked. Well played, well played. This was definitely a long cave. 127. This is one of the longer caves that I've seen in a while. And that was an even slimier little pile trying to pass off as a worm. Well, that gets the item out of the inventory, and Oxus is not going to take that skip. Or is he? I don't know. Nope, Ox was not taking that skip. And Ox was trying to despawn a diamond that's parked, that's literally spawn camping the ladder. Still gets a green swirl out of it. Yeah, I was surprised by that floor 9 lacked a single save. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Been reading over the music choice. There's some interesting ones. Human music, which is well, that's a track you could make somebody take a snooze to, and then suddenly play a loud noise to wake them up. It's a gag that I see on certain other streams where suddenly play a quiet song, and suddenly the bit alerts dropped for a pipe drop. Oh, nice. Yeah, that looked very comfortable. Unfortunate about the MBR, but my theory there is that Pokey rolled high speed. Oh, and yeah, I have a related emote to that gag I was just referencing. That's an ATM. And that flashes the sunstroke warning. But that might have been a misinput. So the one thing I'm curious about, 18-minute floor 9, what was it that cued you in that it was floor 9? Is the big question that I have. Ah, so it was the audio cue of the music. That would make sense, especially when you have M3 on. Ox was having sunstroke problems on his end. 2 get odd sunstroke pretty much back to back in succession, which is not great. Well, at this point, you're just getting the skip items out of your inventory. Oh, we found Happy Happy Village that has the free stand, which I don't think we saw from our runners. But regardless, Ox was not interested. Oh, an Auto Star Master on floor 8. In the $1,000 gift box. And welcome on in, Moon Television. Thanks for the raid. We are in the... Yeah, this is floor 8. We are in the closing stages of this Earthbound Super Series Ancient Cave race. With the winner moving on, and unfortunately, the loser's out, but still, Oxus is putting on a valiant effort to keep on going, despite the result already being known. Yeah, when I saw you get to the back of the floor 8 boss, you were like, nope. I don't remember who saw the boss hints, but the boss list did not have Carbon Dog on it, so that was actually a reprieve in that sense. I do believe. Now I'm thinking about the boss list this time wasn't really anything gnarly other than Shroom on floor 7. Wow, that was perfect timing between Keely and Airframe there. Same brain cell. I think Oxus is trying to get a clean run through, and the game is like saying, no, 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 not today. How fortuitous for Oxus finds the full heal. The only problem is these enemies really do not Oxus to exit. And Oxus takes the green swirl and runs away. Oxus not opening the gifts. Perhaps this is the path? Or maybe I'm the one getting lost in the sauce. Actually, no, this is a pretty sizable backtrack all the way to Onette's library. That's back to 7. Still, Oxus has a good restart point should he need it. Hopefully he doesn't. Right, he had already opened those. It would have said that it was empty. I feel like the progression forward on this 8 has to be somewhere within Belch Base. Or at least that's the sense that I'm getting. That goes back to 6. Back into Onett. Could Oxus be using this to try and find a way forward? I am not sure. Ooh, almost got into a fight there. And a happy. Yeah, that's the only thing we know about 8 as well. As to what leads to it, hard to say. That's Pencil Eraser, the other side of it. That's an exit mouse room. Definitely worth having one. Wow, that free stand is a whole lot of nothing. Outside of maybe a fresh egg, Oxus doing a bit of a Hail Mary here. If the NPC would just move out of the way. And that goes to the top of Belch Base. Ooh. Maybe the door... No, this isn't top. This is bottom of Belch Base. So it seems like the two areas are quite heavily interlinked. Two magic butterflies. One or both are an enemy. As now Oxus seems to be heading on the right path. The police station. This was an ATM, if I recall right. Yeah, it's starting to seem like Oxus is getting lost in the sauce here. Giant green swirl, giant green swirl. Yeah, level 35 PSI Shield Sigma that's very annoying and probably the worst part of the seed by far. And now we have Playground of Doom on Oxless' side, although it is disguised itself as a signpost. Very good disguise, I might add. Well, a lot of damage from Playground of Doom's attacks, as they have a high crit rate. And Oxus goes for it with Starstorm and gets it done! Very nicely done. Oxus is having a look here. Let me see what's going on. Still going. I think Oxus is having a moment to think about it. Well, Oxus, GG's. Don't forget to hit the button in the race time room to DNF on the race. GG's, great seed. It's just that Keely found the route to 9 much faster. Yep, you reached floor 9, you played well. You even found some stuff that we never saw, like an Auto Star Master. We never saw that. It was a great run. Thanks for running. Thanks for racing. We hope to see you again in the future. And with that, feel free to follow both of our runners, KelieSemoun and Oxus. They both put on a great show. Also, give me a follow as well if you feel so inclined, as I am also still in this tournament. And my next match is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on this channel against Temple. One of us is moving on. One of us is going to be doing the behind-the-scenes stuff. So definitely swing by for that. And for myself, our 2 runners, Aeroframer Restreamer, give him a follow too, and everyone behind the scenes at Earthbound Super Series, I'm Leslie Pro. And until next time, stay kind, stay safe. We will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.